camera. Give it off, down.
Plenty of episodes of Sidegrades have featured movies that come out at roughly the same time and feature roughly the same plots. But Battle LA and Skyline have an even more intimate relationship. As the story goes, the directors of Skyline, the Strauss brothers, were originally considered for the director's job on Battle LA, but instead were eventually contracted out to work on the special effects for that movie, which features aliens invading Los Angeles. They then decided to go ahead and make their own movie called Skyline, which features aliens invading Los Angeles. Sony, the studio that was behind Battle LA, went so far as to threaten to sue the Strauss brothers, apparently on the grounds that they might have taken inspiration for Skyline's aliens and spacecraft from Battle LA. That all blew over eventually, probably when somebody at Sony managed to sneak a peek at Skyline and realized that they didn't really have to worry about it as competition for their own film, even though it was released a few months earlier than Battle LA. It is an awful film, and one that is only superficially similar to Battle Los Angeles. The low-budget Skyline features a bunch of mostly anonymous actors spending a weekend in a condo that's actually owned by one of the film's directors.
I call the couch.
They witness the arrival of spacecraft from the sky and begin sucking up all nearby life in the hopes of stealing their brains. Battle LA, on the other hand, features aliens from outer space coming to Earth only to get their asses kicked by a stalwart band of US Marines. Still, similar release dates and aliens invading Los Angeles? Sounds like these films are ripe for the Sidegrades feature, and that's precisely what they're going to get starting right now. The first category is Dumbest Alien Plot. So the aliens in Skyline seem to have a pretty leisurely approach to taking on the destruction of Earth. Sure, there's more of us than there are of them, but they seem intent on evening out the odds by stealing our brains and making us work their biomechanical machines. It's entirely unclear what their end goal is, except to steal our brains. Because obviously a civilization that can launch interstellar raiding parties is not capable of figuring out an AI rudimentary enough to perform autonomously. And heck, they appear to be immortal, so why do they even need us anyway? A charitable viewer might assume that their goal is to Borgify humanity and make us all like them. But even that doesn't explain the incredibly inefficient methods that they use to forward their goal. Sure, the anti-gravity people scoopers are pretty great, but for the most part we witness the aliens taking their sweet time window shopping in the apartments of Los Angeles, a city with 4 million inhabitants. Rather than go for the low-hanging fruit of subway stations and emergency shelters, no. We're gonna send out our drones to try and find 2 dudes at a time. At that rate, they'll be done with Los Angeles by around 2015. Shh. Skyline gets a 4 out of 10 for this category. The Battle LA aliens, on the other hand, are indulging in one old-school excuse for an Earth invasion. They want our resources. More specifically, they want our water. Again, aliens that can travel throughout the galaxy, but they still haven't figured out a way to smash hydrogen and oxygen atoms together. Or maybe find a bunch of water on a planet that doesn't have people with nuclear bombs to defend it. Also, aliens that decide they're going to invade a planet before doing a force analysis and realizing that they're going to get their asses kicked by a dozen Marines. Also, aliens that decide they're going to go through the slog of killing everyone on Earth instead of simply asking for a little bit of our water. Seriously, we've got big oceans and melting ice caps and raising coastlines. Just take a little bit of our water, we'll just give it to you. Battle LA gets a 7 out of 10. Best up close and personal assault on an extraterrestrial. Sometimes when an alien gets all up in your face, you just want to take them down with their bare hands. We've all been there, really. The Marines of Battle LA wisely refrain from that extreme, but they do get up close and personal with an alien soldier late in the film and decide to take him out by stabbing him with their rifles to ensure that their bullets don't miss. It's pretty brutal, and even if Michelle Rodriguez's tough guy line at the end of it feels kind of forced,
Son of a bitch! That hurts!
it's still fun to see those damn dirty aliens take a beating at the hands of heroic American soldiers. That, combined with the live dissection of a wounded alien soldier earlier in the film, mostly satisfies my lust for extraterrestrial blood that has gone unsated since the last time I sat through the heat. Battle LA gets 7 out of 10. Skyline, on the other hand, features a guy who'd like to get his toes sucked on 6 feet under, taking his mostly impotent rage out on an alien drone who got too close to his girlfriend or something. The Strauss brothers' penchant for melodramatic slow motion is probably preferable to Battle LA's relentless shaky cam, but it's hard not to find it just a bit ridiculous as a man, even a man with alien powers, uses his bare hands to beat the ever-loving shit out of a drone that's proven itself basically invincible throughout the rest of the film. Just minutes later though, the downer ending comes full circle as the same dude sees his brain sucked out and inserted into an alien killing machine, only to use his own brain to start beating the crap out of aliens all over again, even though he's an alien too. It's totally ridiculous, but it's precisely the kind of ridiculous that I want to see end a bad movie. Skyline gets 5 out of 10. Best grizzled vet. Any film where people are fighting aliens seems required to have an older, wiser character that can keep all the kids' heads screwed on while they're taking on the forces of Alpha Centauri. In Battle of LA, that role is ably filled by Aaron Eckhart, who manages to keep his young soldiers in line by force of example during the alien onslaught, whether he's single-handedly saving everyone's life with a walkie-talkie and a grenade, or delivering inspirational lines like,
"Let those bastards know who they're fucking with."
Eckhart is great as the tormented Marine who's ready to march off and take on the entire alien force by himself, even if he seems to be mildly channeling a little Christian Bale as Batman with his voice.
"You want to go there? Let's go there."
And he's one of the reasons the film tends toward the watchable rather than the terrible. So 8 out of 10 for Eckhart alone. In Skyline, on the other hand, the grizzled vet role is fulfilled by David Zayas as Oliver, a condo concierge that makes a grand entrance by ramming an SUV into the side of an alien floater and saving the skin of the probably not worth saving young adults staying in his building. He of course has the right idea considering the circumstances. Hold up, eat some food, see if the military can do anything, and try to avoid the aliens for as long as possible. And along the way he delivers some nice little pep talks to keep everybody motivated.
They try that light stuff, we got each other's back.
Considering that everyone in the movie is absolutely doomed though, he does at least manage to strike one of the better blows against the invading forces by sacrificing himself in a blaze of glory as he attempts to blow a massive walker off the side of his building. Points for suicidal gusto, but still, he's given relatively little to do, like the rest of the characters in the film, and he's still just a hotel concierge. So even classifying him as a grizzled vet is probably stretching things just a bit. 4 out of 10 for Skyline. Best aliens. An alien movie mostly lives or dies on the strength of the coolness of its aliens, and Skyline does a pretty decent job considering its low $10 million budget. You have to admit that some of the shots of the aliens simply sucking everyone up into their motherships are pretty cool. And they also win the battle of scale with their huge hulking bipedal monstrosities that seem like a bit of overkill. The tentacled drones are appropriately menacing as well. Unfortunately, Skyline goes a bit too far by making all of their aliens effectively indestructible. Even a nuked mothership manages to put itself right back together again, and all the attempts of the group to fight back against the aliens attacking them are incredibly futile, making you wonder why you should even care. Enemies that come back to life when you kill them are frustrating whether you're playing Dark Souls or watching a sci-fi movie, and Skyline definitely went just a hair too far when putting together its foes. So, 5 out of 10. Battle LA, on the other hand, suffers from the mildly chintzy animations on its alien ground soldiers, the CGI for which always looks a little rushed and choppy when they move. That's generally made up for by their pretty amazing vehicles though, especially their unmanned drones that use pulse jet technology to coast over the city and protect their own mothership. The aliens also use ground vehicles that are curiously tailored to the specific kind of tension that the soldiers' plight calls for at the very moment that they appear. Need to have a drawn-out confrontation on a bridge? Let's forget that we have UAVs for the moment and bring in the slowest walking tank that you could ever possibly imagine. Still, all the alien designs are fairly unique, and the mid-film vivisection of an alien soldier is admirably gruesome, and you have to give Battle LA credit for that. And I give it credit in the form of 7 out of 10. Best destruction of an alien mothership. It says something about Skyline, and not something good, that my favorite cast member in the film is not actually an actor, but a collection of ones and zeros made to resemble a stealth drone in a computer somewhere in Southern California. Meet a little fellow I call Pierre, who happens to be an X-47B stealth drone. He likes long walks on the beach, flying behind a screen of Predator drones and dodging right between enemy airships like a scampy little daredevil, and delivering precision nuclear payloads directly into the gut of enemy motherships. The 30 seconds or so that he's on screen are probably the only moments of real tension in Skyline. And even if his nuke doesn't manage to destroy his target, his aerial antics are still absolutely adorable. If Pierre is not the lead character in Cars 3, The War Against Eurasia, then I will be a very upset fan of a CGI animated military drone. Somebody make this happen. And that's an 8 out of 10 for Skyline. Battle LA, on the other hand, has a pretty okay takedown of an alien command and control ship at the very end of the film.
3 minutes is coming in 3 minutes!
It's not the best climax to a film that you've ever seen, as 4 or 5 Marines manage to take on what appear to be dozens of tough-to-kill aliens thanks to guns that are full of infinite ammo. Still, painting their target with a laser designator is an admirably low-key approach to ending a fight, and is a great opportunity for some tension as we see whether or not that laser beam stays on target, even if that tension never quite arrives unless you happen to be a cat. On the other hand, the whole idea of them being the first one discovering how to take down the enemy mothership is fairly obviously lifted from the end of Independence Day, and they're still competing with a goddamn nuclear bomb going off in Los Angeles. So, a mere 4 out of 10 for Battle Los Angeles in this category. And in conclusion, Battle LA wins the Battle of LA Skyline alien attack things with 33 points to Skyline's 26. As much as I really wanted Pierre to take home the gold, unfortunately, even he can't make up for the fact that Skyline is, indeed, a pretty awful picture. At the time of this filming, it's available on Netflix instant streaming and might be worth checking out if you like pretty CGI, downer endings, kinda stupid aliens, and fun little stealth runs named Pierre. If you're in the mood for a thinking man's alien invasion film, though, you still probably don't want to watch Battle LA, as it can't be said to be a great film either. But at least it has a solid performance at its center and a lot of aliens actually dying, as opposed to being hit with explosives and magically coming back to life. Neither of these films deserve a spot on your DVD shelf, but at least Battle LA can make for entertaining background noise while you play video games or deliberate as to whether that career in the military is. It's a small claim to fame, but it's better than nothing, which is precisely what Skyline winds up with in this latest installment of Sidegrades.